No, sir, he says, on feeling pressure. Here's Mike Reiss, who joins us live from Gillette Stadium, covers the Patriots for us for so long. What are you hearing, Mike, from inside the team about how this offense is going to look different with Cam rather than Tom?
Good morning, Greeny. It has been fascinating to listen to offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels talk about how this offense is evolving. And one of the points McDaniels has made is that he feels it's a benefit for him to have gone through this before without Tom Brady. It's provided him insight because the last thing he wants to do is put Cam Newton in a position where he can't succeed, saying, hey, Cam, this is what Tom did. Do this. So he spent the last couple months getting to know what Cam Newton does well, and he says that's been a fun process because there are things Newton does that he has never coached before.
Yeah, there are things he does that no quarterback has ever done before in the whole history of the game. So how might his style of play, would you imagine, help the wide receivers as compared to what we saw last year and before?
Well, Greeny, one of the things about the Patriots offense under Tom Brady is that receivers had to run really precise routes. And there's a thought process among some in the organization is that was what led them to struggle developing young receivers. So now you bring in Cam Newton, a different type of quarterback who has movement skills, who can extend plays a little bit. And the thought is that maybe that takes a little bit of that burden off the receivers. And that would be critical because after Julian Edelman, Greeny, I mean, who is Cam Newton going to be throwing the ball to? Not a lot of household names here for the Patriots.
All right, Mike Reiss again there for us, 5 days away from the debut. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, remember my football crew back in with me this morning. And Greg, I know you have a tape. I'm going to get to you in a second, but very quickly, Marcus, when you hear Cam say, no, sir, I don't feel any pressure replacing Tom, what do you think?
I love it. Gee, listen, this is what people forget. Cam Newton has his own personality, his own story, his own greatness in the NFL already. This is not your conventional guy coming in, taking on a new job and trying to recreate something that was already there before. Cam Newton is going to be 100% authentically Cam Newton. And that's exactly what you want. And I was happy to hear from Mike that Josh McDaniels has embraced the way that Cam plays, because now what you get is a different era. Nobody should be comparing Cam Newton to Tom Brady. Cam stands alone just as well as Tom Brady stands alone, and I can't wait to see how they deploy him offensively, because if he's healthy, it's going to be a mess in New England in a good way.
Jeff, you know what a really good offense looks like. You've been a part of a lot of them. Do you think this will be one?
I do think this will be one. And I'll tell you, I love what Josh McDaniels just said. I mean, talking about it's brought him energy. He's looking at things a new way. You think about multiple backs in the backfield, things you can do. It doesn't matter. Last year, everybody talked about Tom Brady's worst year because he had no one to throw to. So what pressure can there be, right? You got Edelman, you got N'Keal Harry, who's a first-round draft pick, who really didn't do much last year. Other than that, man, you can move running backs around. You can move receivers around. You can be as creative as you want to be. I think that takes all the pressure off. Everybody understands Tom Brady spent 20 years, man, in one place. We're never going to have the conversation of Cam Newton versus Tom Brady in New England. It's always going to be Brady. So who cares? Now we're talking about winning in the 2020 season. What can Cam Newton bring to this offense? I'm excited that they're teaming up. I can't wait to see Cam Newton, especially healthy, what he can do, because Brissett is nowhere near Cam Newton and all the things that he could potentially do. So I'm extremely excited about the potential there.
So, Marcus, somewhat quickly, if you're a defensive player and you're playing them this Sunday with no tape to look at, what are you focused on? What is the number one thing you're thinking about this weekend?
The number one thing I'm thinking about, G, is we have to stop Cam Newton, and we have no idea what the hell Josh McDaniels is going to do with this beast. This different animal. It's about to look totally different. This has to be the most nerve-wracking situation for a defensive coordinator and defensive players as there's been in a long time in the NFL. And I can't wait to see how they're going to try to defend it and what New England is going to do.
Me too. That is 5 people on this show who have said, I can't wait to see what it looks like. And I believe all 5 of you, it is going to be extremely interesting. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.